Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we have racing in the Xfinity Series as well as the NASCAR Cup Series at Sonoma Raceway on the Cup Series side of things. On the Xfinity side of things, we're actually going to Auto Club Speedway, where we have Daniel Suarez behind the wheel in our number 77 Yellow Heart Ford Mustang here as we got underway in California. So, two California races today, at least, so it kind of lines up well for that here. As Suarez started about the midfield, so he had his work cut out for him, to say the least. Now, actually, sorry, not midfield, towards the back of the field. So he had a really good effort in his first race with the team on the Xfinity side of things last time out, where he finished second at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as well as he led a few laps. So we were hoping he could pull off a similar effort here today in Auto Club. Of course, starting at the back of the field, put his back against the wall, and he had a lot of work to do if he was going to find himself in the same spot he did at Las Vegas. But he was up to the challenge. He was working his way through the traffic really with no problems at all here, showing the speed already that we have. Even with this manufacturer change to Ford from Chevy, it hasn't really seemed to hurt us. Suarez actually would go 5 wide down the front straightaway later in this race. He had already gotten up into the top 20, closing in the top 15, and he would just continue on this charge throughout the field here now as he was up the inside of Natalie Decker in the 47. Then she would actually try to cross him over there on the inside, but now coming to the end of this race, Suarez all the way up into the top 5 by the time they came through to the final lap. It was Ty Majeski leading the way again on this final lap. He won in Las Vegas after passing Suarez late, and out of turns 4 down this front straightaway, Ty Majeski is going to go back-to-back for Richard Childress Racing and win in Auto Club. Suarez crosses the line for a very strong 4th place finish. And just what could have been if maybe Suarez could have qualified maybe just midfield instead of having inspection issues and starting at the back. He could have definitely won that race. So that was the one little disappointing thing from that there. As you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen, at the very bottom of the grid, we had the number 93 of CJ McLaughlin. Now coming into the Cup Series race here from Sonoma Raceway, we have a brand new paint scheme on the car once again, made by Latchon. It's an Amazon paint scheme. He did a really good job with that, and you'll see, of course, the outer view of the car throughout the race to get a better idea of what it looks like. But here we were in qualifying at Sonoma, and I felt like this was our opportunity right here in a car that doesn't have the best engine and it doesn't have a lot of speed. I feel like this is going to be our chance today to get a strong top 10 finish, even when we're at a big disadvantage. So qualifying was going to be a good indicator here as we came through out of the final turn in that hairpin down this front straightaway here for the final time. And the goal was to hit a 145. Well, we absolutely destroyed that goal with a 134.979 and qualify P16. So usually we can get close to a pole in Sonoma with a good lap here with this lower horse-powered car. Really, it is. We end up qualifying P16 there. As you see at the back of the grid, you got Tony Bradinger. As you see, our teammate of Tyler Reddick there in 27th place. As we look through the rest of the order in the top 10, you got Chris Buescher rounding out the top 10. Our other teammate of Bell in 4th, Justin Haley in 3rd, Ty Gibbs on pole as we get ready to go green in Sonoma Raceway. Sonoma Raceway, the road course out here in California, used to be referred to as Sears Point. Capacity of 47,000 here today. Has an FIA grade, by the way, of 2. Now, as this track opened in 1968 here as we get ready to go green at this 12-turn, 2.3-mile road course now. Race lap record, actually, at Sonoma Raceway, 1 minute, 18 seconds by Simon Pagenaud in IndyCar for Team Penske back in 2017 here as we're getting ready to go green. In the last episode, we saw William Byron actually sustain an injury that's going to take him out from 2 to 3 races after Homestead Miami. And in this episode here in Sonoma, it is going to be Brandon Jones actually filling in for him in the number 24 car here as we're getting ready to take the green flag there. As you see, Ty Gibbs having a very strong weekend so far as he starts at the front of the grid. And he is looking for his first career win here in the Cup Series. So we'll see what he can pull off here today. Now you see Matt DiBenedetto starting at the back of the grid there after replacing a transmission before the race. Lewis Hamilton, the Daytona 500 winner, came up just short of a victory in the last episode, is up here in the mix once again. No surprise to see Hamilton up here at the road course now as we're going to get ready to go green alongside the number 45 of Derek Cross for 2311 Racing, right behind Todd Gilliland. And there you immediately see the 24 of Brandon Jones now as we are underway for the start of Sonoma. The 3rd race of the season is underway in this final season of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. Now, Joey Logano, our rival's already trying to turn us into these first few corners. Some contact with him in the 14. We've already got a crash lap 1 chaos as Joey Logano just wrecked himself and took out the number 45 of Kraus in the process, all because he was trying to mess myself over into the first few corners. The caution out already. Chaos strikes in the first few seconds of this race. Everybody, of course, is going to be staying out, and this is only going to leave us a couple of laps of racing here in this second stage because of Joey Logano deciding that, you know what, lap 1, turn 1, we got to try and end the 6 car now. So that was very unfortunate, but I mean, it kind of helps us to get it out of the way now because Joey is going to be stuck in traffic behind us after this now as we get back underway from Sonoma Raceway. A bit of a chaotic start. Hopefully it kind of calms down now with 2 laps remaining already here in this first and opening stage. I was a little bit disappointed with that because I feel like I said, even though our car doesn't have the engine power that a lot of these other top teams have right now at the start of the season, I feel like the road courses are going to be a bit more of a level playing field for us, and we can really use our road course expertise to my own advantage. But, of course, that requires green flag racing to get ourselves up throughout the grid. So I was hoping from this point on it would, of course, stay green there as we were under a little bit of pressure from Josh Berry in that number 98 Trackhouse Chevrolet Camaro to the left-hand side of Eric Jones in the McLaren winner from last episode at Homestead Miami. He has now won 2 Homestead Miami races in a row, actually, now including the season finale last season. Now, as we also get past the 24 of Brandon Jones now as we try to put the attack to the next few cars in front of us. Chase Elliott there in the McLaren, surprisingly quite a ways down the order. Lewis Hamilton did take the lead there on the start, so he is in front of Ty Gibbs. Elliott actually got sideways right there. We got into the back of him, and then I got hit from behind from the number 7 of Eric Jones. So we have now damage on both the front and back bumpers now as we go to the left-hand side of Elliott, attacking him through the S's now. This is a good opportunity to kind of catch him off guard and make this pass on the McLaren Chevrolet. So here we are still side by side through this long sweeping left-hander, and sure enough, we get clear of Chase Elliott now as we head through this penultimate turn down towards that final hairpin. So now just trying to play defense and stay in front of that 9. So I take a very protective defensive line into this final hairpin here as we approach already the final lap of this stage. Lewis Hamilton still leads the way there into the first few corners as we try to run down potential stage points. We haven't even entered the top 10 so far this season in the first 2 races. It's only been 2 races, but usually by now we've been already building up stage points, even maybe a playoff point, and contending for race victories, but we haven't even gotten into the top 10. So actually we might have barely gotten to the top 10 into the 500 before we got wrecked by Logano, so I'm a little bit wrong on that, but now already putting the pressure to the back of Sam Mayer here as we go into this right-hander, and we got just 2 by 2 by now as I actually got hit from behind from Chase Elliott. He punts us off the course, and we got even more damage on our back bumper. That one completely caught me off guard now as I don't know what Elliott was thinking right there, but he was not waiting around. We dropped down to 15th. I sailed it off into the carousel, actually trying to get to the 9, and in the heat of the moment I was just trying to take him out right there. So now as we get a little bit cool down, calm down, we pass Josh Berry back again for that Trackhouse 98 car, and now we're into 14th right behind that 9 of Chase Elliott here now as Berry is trying to catch him off guard, just about got into the back of me again as we come through towards this final sector. Lewis Hamilton leading the way through the S's for the final time. Sam Mayer kind of got the short end of the stick on that one, and that allows me to actually kind of catch him off guard again and get clear. So up into P13 we go, and I was trying my best to get back to the 9 car, but I just didn't have the power in the car to get to him right here. So we just come through this penultimate corner. Lewis Hamilton out of the final hairpin is going to come through to win stage 1 here from Sonoma Raceway as we lunge down into this final hairpin for the final time, just about to the back of Chase Elliott here as we exit the corner. But it's not going to be stage points for us here in stage 1, but we still gain positions, and I'm pretty confident with this car going into the second stage from Sonoma Raceway. Definitely a little bit of work to do on the car, guys. It feels pretty good, but maybe even just loosen it up a bit. I think that could really help us. It feels a little bit too tight here and there.
Okay, we're going to lower the wedge a little bit and up the right rear.
There you hear the plan from our crew chief of Latian. You see the top 10 there in that first and opening stage. Now as you look through the rest of the grid, at the back of the grid, you got Max Gutierrez in that number 43 for Richard Petty Motorsports now as Lewis Hamilton comes through to win the first and opening stage here from Sonoma Raceway, getting ready for stage 2. Back from Sonoma Raceway, getting ready to go green for the start of the second stage. You see the surrounding area. I actually had no idea that there was water in the surrounding area here of Sonoma Raceway. One of my favorite things about going into Microsoft Flight Simulator and looking at these racetracks is actually seeing the area that surrounds the track. It's something I never had really been able to see before, because when we're in the game and whatnot or watching the races, of course, we're mainly focused on the track as we're underway for the start of this second stage here from Sonoma Raceway. No amped here at the start of stage 2, it is still in this video. Do not worry about that now, as we will have it at a different point in this race. 5 laps of racing once again in this second stage now, as we're already putting some pressure to the back of that number 83 Red Bull of Christian Eckes. Now sideways he goes there off of my front bumper. He saves it there. That was a bit of my fault for sure now, as Eckes actually won the last time we came to Sonoma last season there, as I almost lost it out of the right-hander. Thank goodness it didn't go too bad there. So we save it, we hang on to the car, and now we make it 3 wide with Eckes and Chase Elliott. We're still actually going to lose out to Chase Elliott there in the McLaren as we head down into this long sweeping left-hand carousel there. A move up the inside of that Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro here, as we're going to exit the carousel, still side by side, but we have the upper edge right there. We clear Elliott up into 11th place we go, and now the attack to our former teammate of Kyle Larson up the right-hand side of him, right to the back of the 38 of Todd Gilliland, nearly into the back of him here as we head down through this right-hander. So now we are going to move up into the top 10 here from Sonoma Raceway. Now the car was feeling pretty good at this point. We hadn't made a pit stop yet. You saw we were talking about what the adjustments we were going to do there on the pit lane with our crew chief of Lation. We still have to complete this stage before we can actually come into the pit lane here, because we had enough fuel to complete both of these stages. So we were looking to loosen it up a little bit now. Obviously, there was some points where the car felt really loose, but overall it felt a little bit too tight throughout the majority of the track now, as we come through this hairpin coming towards the end of this first and opening lap of stage 2. And now here we are running in the top 10, putting some pressure on the Red Bull teammate to Christian Eckes, Chris Buescher there in that number 84 car. That silver paint scheme, it looks so good on track here now as you put some pressure on him up and through these first few corners. Kyle Larson actually got back to my back bumper here, but we would defend over him well enough to hold on to that 10th position for the time being. Now out of the carousel on lap 2 to the outside of Buescher there. There wasn't a whole lot of room to make that move, but there was enough, as you can tell, as we're side by side here into this heavy braking zone, and up into the 9th place we go.
You keep doing that, we're gonna win the race.
I don't know about that one, but I'm going to certainly try my best. There you hear myself again there on the radio now, as we're to the back just about of Kyle Busch. He was actually pushed wide off the track. Now as he's side by side with Todd Gilliland, we catch him off guard. Up into the 8th place we go, and now we're going to put pressure to Kyle Busch here as we came through towards this final hairpin and move up the right-hand side of him, and sure enough, up into 7th place we will go here from Sonoma Raceway. This race is going really well for us here in this second stage. Todd Gilliland trying to get back up my right-hand side, couldn't quite pull it off right there, so we hold on to that 7th spot, and there's quite a bit of ground to make up here at this point if you want to get 6th or better. Ty Gibbs, by the way, leading the way now, as he was able to get the lead away from Lewis Hamilton on the restart. So now on the end of lap 3, unfortunately, you can just kind of see the pace of this car where it struggles and whatnot, and the 38 of Todd Gilliland got up my right-hand side, and as we head down through these first few corners, I wasn't able to quite actually hang on to the spot. So unfortunate that we dropped down to 8th place, but we're still having a very strong run for this team right now with Roush LeBron racing now into the hairpin again, coming to the final lap of the second stage. A little bit wide right there. Chase Elliott's going to get to my right-hand side. We lose the back end of the car. We go off the circuit, and we get penalized by NASCAR for apparently, I guess, cutting the course when we lost time. So we just dropped all the way down into 18th place from, in my opinion, a penalty that should not have happened. I don't know what NASCAR's thinking. That's one of the dumbest penalties I've ever seen.
I don't know, man. Just keep it cool here.
Not much we could do, but I really felt like we were just wrongfully penalized by NASCAR. I made a mistake, lost ground, didn't cut anything, and we got a penalty for it. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we, of course, now give up potential stage points, which was the most frustrating bit of it. We haven't actually picked up stage points this season yet, and obviously in the car we're in, it's going to be tough to do that throughout the first part of the season until we get this team developed enough to be a top team. So unfortunate, because with this lower horsepower for this car for now, it's every single point, I should say, matters so much to get into the playoffs. So it's always frustrating when you give up a few points, but we're just going to look ahead and try to focus and hopefully get a top 10 finish out of it here now, as we actually have a spin in front of us there. The 66 of Sam Mayer has gone around. I go way wide just to make sure that we don't get too close to him, as a big moment for him, a big shunt from the McLaren driver now as we head down into the S's for the final time, and out of the final turn already was Ty Gibbs coming through to win the second stage here from Sonoma Raceway, as we're just now heading it down towards the penultimate corner now, trying to run down the 16 of Kaz Gralla there for Colt Lake Racing, having a solid run in 16th place here today now, as the 10th place car is coming up on the line here in just a few moments now as we come through the hairpin for the final time. It's going to be a 17th place finish for us here in stage 2. So it honestly could have been a lot worse with that penalty, but definitely could have been a lot better if we did not get that penalty in the first place and would have picked up some stage points. So frustrating, but at the same time, we got a bit of a break at the same time. Now, as you see, Ty Gibbs, your stage winner there, looking in position to get his first Cup Series win here today. We'll have to wait and see if he is able to pull it off after a miserable rookie season he had for Joe Gibbs Racing last time out. He was, I don't even think, in the top 30 in points at the end of the season. He had, like I said, terrible season. As we make some more adjustments here, get ready to go green for the start of this third and final stage as Ty Gibbs is your Stage 2 winner from Sonoma Raceway. One final stage remains here from Sonoma Raceway as you see the beautiful surrounding scenery here around the track. I didn't even notice how beautiful the surrounding areas of Sonoma was. An incredible view right there here as we're getting ready to go green for the start of Stage 3 now, which is underway. We lost a few spots on the pit lane, but now in Stage 3, it's time to get amped. What a restart. We go from outside of the top 20 in one lap. We're into the top 10. We're up into 8th place in front of the number 9 car of Chase Elliott as we try to run down the drivers in front of us. Bubba Wallace for 2311 Racing, and we were doing just that because he got into a bit of a scrap here with the number 19 of Harrison Burton at Joe Gibbs Racing. Now, as Elliott was right to my back bumper through that hairpin, but these two would be side by side through the first quarter of this lap, and that would allow me to do this right here, get right to their back bumpers, but now I can't really do anything with it because they're covering both racing lanes. So we just kind of have to wait for one of them to settle out here, and I was expecting Bubba to get clear of the 19 when we come up to this right-hander because he has that advantage of the best line, and that's exactly what happened. So I follow through with Bubba. We get past the 19 of Harrison Burton, move up into 7th place here as we head down into the carousel right on that back bumper of him. He leaves the door open. I take it, sure enough, up the inside, and sure enough as well, we're going to try and take over P6 and clear of the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Now, can we run down anybody else? It was 4 seconds between myself and Todd Gilliland, but at the end of lap 19, coming to lap 20, a caution comes out with 11 laps to go. No pit stops necessary. I only run on 2X fuel and tire wear at Sonoma because in previous seasons before, when we ran it on 3X tire wear, usually the fuel is too close for the AI to make it, and they basically pit with 1 or 2 laps to go, and we usually save enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. So basically it's a free win, and I didn't like that. It kind of felt cheap, so that's kind of why we run 2X fuel and tire wear now every time we come to Sonoma. So Ty Gibbs still leading the way alongside Lewis Hamilton as the green flag is back out, and now less than 10 laps to go here from Sonoma Raceway. Can Ty Gibbs hold on to get his first ever NASCAR Cup Series win? We're about to find out now. You see the 78 of Justin Haley up there in the mix, having a good day here from Sonoma Raceway now on the road course. Our Roush LeBron Racing teammate of Christopher Bell having a really good day, as well as he is definitely a strong road course racer. Christopher Bell is now, as we're sideways though out of the right-hander. We save it, thank goodness. We got into the grass a little bit there. Only lost one spot out of it as Todd Gilliland was able to get ahead of us, but we're already back up the right-hand side of him, and we're already clear of him to the back of the 78 of Justin Haley once again. Now, as we try to look up that left-hand side, he actually closes the door. Lewis Hamilton was leading for a brief moment, but Ty Gibbs back up the inside of him and clear out of the carousel. So Ty Gibbs back to the lead, and now Christopher Bell trying to put some pressure on Lewis Hamilton. Didn't quite have much to put to him here now, as I just play it safe down into this heavy braking right-hander, but Todd Gilliland, not playing it safe by any means. He lunges up the right-hand side of me. Now is there some contact with the 23 of Bubba Wallace. I was trying to brake a little bit earlier and cross over because I saw them going a little bit wide, and I saw an opportunity to maybe gain 2-3 spots potentially, but unfortunately didn't quite work out. So now coming to 6 laps to go in this race, just trying my best to remain with this group of top 5 drivers, and now 5 laps to go in this race, and we were holding with them, but I couldn't quite get close enough to be able to make a move and pounce on an opportunity to complete a pass on anybody. So we were just kind of hovering here in the 6th position, and then on lap 27 we actually lost a little bit of time to that number 38 of Todd Gilliland up on 2 wheels there into the carousel now, but I was driving so hard just trying to get back into that battle. I really wanted a top 5 now. To the back bumper of him through the hairpin on lap 27. That kind of slows him up a little bit on the exit of the hairpin, so it keeps us closer at the start of the lap. And then now, with 3 laps to go, we got a chance to make a move up the inside into the carousel here. A very cautious entry right there, making sure I do not wheel hop or anything, and we get clear of the 38 of Todd Gilliland into the top 5 for sure. The first time this season we've been in the top 5. Now 2 laps to go. Ty Gibbs already rounding through to take the white flag from Sonoma Raceway. We go down into the final hairpin, right to the back bumper just about of our teammate of Christopher Bell, and every point, like I said, matters. I want that 4th spot, and I'm going to do whatever I can to get that 4th spot in the cleanest way possible, of course, as the white flag is out for us. An up and down day for sure. We had that big penalty there at the end of stage 2, and then we got punted by Chase Elliott off track one time. We had lap 1 chaos with Joey Logano, and now here we are on the final lap, finding ourselves in the top 5. What a day it was here from Sonoma Raceway now as we get through the first sector of this course pretty well. I felt like I hit my marks pretty well, but it obviously wasn't enough to close the gap to Christopher Bell here. So we're going to need a very, very good and excellent final half of a lap here in Sonoma if we're going to get to that back of that number 17. I got really aggressive here on the braking into the carousel, and that actually cuts the gap pretty much in half. And now Ty Gibbs already heading down towards the S's for the final time. He has a very comfortable lead. We got a great exit out of the carousel, now within a couple of car lengths of the 17 of Christopher Bell here, as we're going to make this lunge into the right-hander nearly to his back bumper now. Not quite close enough, and it's all going to come down to who gets through the S's better to set up the run towards the final hairpin. And now, speaking of that final hairpin, Ty Gibbs already out of the penultimate corner, heading down into that final hairpin, and unbelievable dominant performance here today from Ty Gibbs as he rounds that final turn. He is going to come through to get his first ever NASCAR Cup Series win. Ty Gibbs is a NASCAR Cup Series winner officially now, as we have one shot to get that 17 of Christopher Bell. We're going to need to use the bumper. We get to him, and sure enough, the bumper is laid to the back of the 17. We push him all the way up into the outside wall there, as I felt terrible for that immediately. I just junked a teammate. I actually backed out of it. I said, you know what, that was very dirty, and I let the 17 get us back at the line there, so we still crossed the line for a 5th place finish. And I was very, very happy with the 5th place finish here from Sonoma Raceway. Now, I didn't think we were going to do as good as we did. I knew, like I said, it was going to be our opportunity to do well compared to what our car is on the ovals, but I didn't really expect us to do that well. So I was really, really satisfied with a 5th place finish, as you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen at the very bottom of the grid. Logano was ending up in 37th as Austin Cindric in 40th place with a DNF. Now, an unbelievable race here from Sonoma Raceway. Our final trip to Sonoma Raceway, by the way, here in our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. As always, of course, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. And the next one you see on the Xfinity side of things, we actually go to Phoenix Raceway. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. On the Cup Series side, we go to Auto Club. So staying in the same state here, just heading towards a more urban setting here at the Auto Club Oval. So excited to see how we do there. I think that might probably be the worst race in terms of pace for us in the first few races of the season. I'm a little bit scared for that one, as we did gain points. We're only 13 points below the cut line now, with that strong top 10, top 5 finish here from Sonoma Raceway there. As you see, 3 different manufacturers have won: Mercedes, Toyota, as well as Chevrolet to start this season. So been a tremendous start to the season. We also have the NASCAR Legends Series back in the next episode, so look forward to that as well. I can't wait to see, hopefully, us in victory lane for once here in the NASCAR Legends Series. We were winless in Season 2. We only had 1 win in Season 1, so hopefully we can change that before we end it. Just want to say thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Hayes Gaming, Brett Durward, Darky Gengar Gaming, AG Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, Speed Demon 341, Ellis Emery, as well as Jay Fitz. I appreciate your guys' support so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.